This video is just a continuation of what we did yesterday. What we learned kind of got a little bit tedious, so I'm going to hopefully show you some shortcuts and a way you can do it on your calculator. So, quiz has 8 multiple choice questions, each with 4 options. So that's key right there. 1 of them being right, the other 3 being wrong. If a student guesses randomly on every question, what's the probability of getting exactly 6 right? So hopefully we can get the idea that the probability that you of success here would be 1/4, and then the probability of failure. So success would be 1/4, probability of failure would be 3/4. So if we want to get exactly 6 right, here's how. Well, first of all, we'd call that P of 6, and we would go like this. We would say, all right, there's 8, and we're going to choose. We want to get how many exactly 6? 8. Choose 6. The probability of success would be 1/4. So we're going to do that to the power of 6, and then the probability of failure would be 3/4, and we're going to go that to the power of 2 because you're going to get 2 of them wrong. So that's how we would do it with our formula. 8 problems, choosing 6 to get right. Here's the probability of success to the power of how many successes, the probability of failure to the power of how many failures. Well, your calculator does do this so that you don't have to do it over and over and over again. So let me show you how this works. You could either punch all that out, or here under distributions, this is a probability distribution. We're going to hit second in distributions. And then you got to go down quite a few. So if you actually want to go up to get to the other one, to letter A right here, which is binom PDF. The binomial means there's 2 options. You're either right or you're wrong. Probability is what we're doing. Distribution function. So that's what we're after. Binom PDF, it's going to ask you how many trials. So in this, there's 8 questions. This P is your probability of success, which is 0.25. It will automatically figure out that the probability of failure, obviously, then would be a 0.75. And then here, this would be your number of successes. So I want to get 6. Let's go ahead and paste it in. If you have a new calculator, it automatically puts it in for you. If you have an older calculator, you're going to have to do this 8, and then you have to hit, so first you're going to put your number of trials, and then you'll hit comma, probability of success, comma, successes, like that. Should calculate it all out. So the probability is actually very low, of about 0.4%. So 0.004 or 0.4%. What's the probability of getting no more than 4? So 4 or fewer. So what you're really calculating here is P of 0 plus P of 1 plus P of 2 plus P of 3 plus P of 4. That's really what you want to calculate. So what you could do is go to your calculator, hit second, and calculate. We still have 8 questions. We still have a 0.25 for your success rate. And then right here, what you could do is find P of 0 by putting a 0 there. Hit enter. Find P of 1 by putting a 1 there, and keep hitting enter. But there's actually another function on here that's quicker. We're going to go back to that distributions on here. Hit second variables. Go to the bottom one. Now here's the difference. P, not poison. Binomial right here. Well, binom. This is a probability distribution function. The next one, if you see, that's a cumulative distribution function. Cumulative means adding up as you go. So if you want just one and only one probability, the reason this is so small, because this is the probability you get exactly 6. No more, no less. Okay? If you want the sum of everything from 0 on up to 6, that's going to be the C. That's going to be the cumulative. You're going to fill it out the same way. Still 8 trials. Here we have 0.25. This time we want it to be 4. So this will find the probability that you get 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 pasted in. Once again, oh, looks like I already had something in there. Let me clear it out. Second distributions, go to the CDF. Right here we have, it already is in there, 0.25. We'll paste. There we go. And once again, if you have the older calculator, you're going to have to put the commas in there and build that yourself. Hit enter, and now it's very high, 0.97 or a 97.3% chance. Okay, the reason is because guessing is not a good strategy, so the probability you get not very many right is very high. What is the probability of getting 5 or more correct? So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide our probability in half. So here's what I mean. Really, if you have 8 questions, there's 9 things that can happen. We have P0, I'm going to write them all out, P1, P2, all the way up to probability of 8. So there's 9 different things that can happen. You get 1 through 8 right, or maybe even you get 0. So I just showed you a way that you can use your calculator to add up many probabilities quickly. So what is the probability of getting 5 or more correct? So that would be this, what I call half. I realize it's not exactly half, but this portion of a probability. I'm going to start referring to probability as being a top half, or if it's going to be a bottom half. Top half obviously being 5 on up to the top, and then the bottom would be 0 on up to the cutoff point. So this right here is what we're going to call a top half probability. You're finding the top of it. Your calculator does not do this. There's no special function to find the top half of a probability. But what you can do is you always use your calculator to find the bottom half of the probability. We already found the bottom half of this probability. We found 0 all the way up to 4. We said there was 97%. Well, hopefully, does it make sense? The rest of this probability will make up the percent that we don't have. So I don't have to go to my calculator and find P5, P6, 7, 8, and add them up. What you can just do is find the probability you already have and go 1 minus that number and go 0.027. So there's a 2.7% chance that you get 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, any of those or all of those put together. Okay? So your calculator will always calculate the bottom half. If you would like the top half, you have to go 1 minus the answer you got. Okay? How about you pause it and try example 4, and this will be all we have for today. All right, if you want 35 on the dot, that's what the PDF does. It does one probability and only one probability. So I'm going to go to the Binomial PDF, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit second in distributions. I'm going to go here to the PDF. That means one and only one, not the addition of. I know I have 100 trials because it says there's 100 at-bats. The probability of success would be 0.3. And in this case, I want exactly 35, and I'm expecting a very small probability. Yeah, a 4.7% chance. Okay, the reason that number is so small is because that's 35 on the dot. No more, no less. Okay, if I want to find the probability of no more than 35, that would be 35 or less. That would be P of 0 plus P of 1 plus all the way on up to P of 35. On your calculator, that's what the CDF, that's what it does, is it adds up the bottom half of the probability. So I'm going to go on here and hit second, distributions. This time I'm going to use the CDF. We're going to have 100 trials with a 0.3 success up to 35. And I'm going to have 88% chance. 88.4% chance. Okay. Now, this is going to be now the probability that you get more than 35 hits. So this would be what we call the top half of a probability. This would be the probability of 36 plus the probability of 37, all the way on up to the probability that you get 100 hits out of 100. Once again, your calculator does not do this. Your calculator can only calculate the bottom half of the probability. So we're going to calculate up to 35, which we've actually already done. And then we have to go 100 minus our answer, or 1 minus our answer, in order to get to the probability of what's left. So on here, if we want to figure that out, we'll go 1 minus our answer and get 11.6%. Quick recap. Use the PDF when you want exactly one and only one situation. Use the CDF if you want the sum from 0 all the way on up to the number they gave you. And if you want the top half of the probability, you're going to have to go 1 minus the bottom half.